It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Palm Springs today at the California State Association of Counties Convention, and we are joined by Sue Novasel. She is a supervisor in El Dorado County. It's a tough life representing Lake Tahoe. What a beautiful community you live in.
Thank you. Someone has to live there. Right?
Someone has to, and I guess you're doing it. But what's so interesting to me about El Dorado and really the entire state is we're facing a homeless crisis. We're facing an affordable housing crisis, and we're facing a crisis for housing that is affordable.
That's right.
Are we seeing that in El Dorado?
Oh, especially in El Dorado. We especially in Lake Tahoe, I should
Sure,
say.
please.
In the Tahoe area, we have the added increase of problem in that we have vacation homes that are becoming rentals, turning our residential areas into commercial areas. And so it's a difficult process because now we are less affordable. We have that, and then on top of that, we have the problem with home prices going up because of second home market.
And when I think about affordability, Lake Tahoe is driven by tourism, and tourism jobs can pay, you know, anywhere from so-so to fine.
Oh.
And so you need workforce housing that is affordable.
That's right.
And is it hard to find?
It's so difficult. We have over 67% of our citizens in Lake Tahoe are below the poverty line.
Oh no.
And people don't realize that. They see the beautiful lake and the gorgeous areas and they think that we are a very affluent area, and absolutely to the opposite. We have a real difficulty with keeping up with affordable housing for our area.
And so are your workers living out of market? Are they in Nevada? Are they in California? Where are they?
A little of both. We have over 50% of our workers travel out from the area to work in Lake Tahoe, either from Nevada, from Gardnerville, the Carson Valley area, or from other parts. But Lake Tahoe itself is so unaffordable that it makes it very difficult for people to actually live in the community.
So does that cause a transportation nightmare, which is also caught up in what's going on in the state of California? Talk to us about the transportation challenges of your state.
That actually is one of our biggest problems, because transportation-wise, we are funded for our populations in general. Our population in South Lake Tahoe is about 50,000, but we get over 10 million visitors a year. So on top of that commuting problem, we also have more cars in our town than is what we're able to finance for. So our road conditions, our buses service is very lacking.
And we think about road conditions. You have snow and lots of it. So for those of us that may live in Palm Springs, where we don't have to worry about potholes as much, and that's a daily occurrence for El Dorado County.
Absolutely, and it really takes, we have had to go dip into our general fund and spend millions of dollars a year to help provide those roads that are needed. Our bus services, we have a bus service that is created for the entire lake, but again, it's so limited in that we don't have the funding that we really need to create a good bus service.
Now, does El Dorado have its own sales tax mechanism for transportation? Is it a self-help county as we know it?
No, it is not. What we have, and it's because it's so split, we have in Lake Tahoe, for example, we have 7 different jurisdictions. We have state of Nevada, the state of California, 2 cities, so it causes this real chaos in trying to get together and fund properly for the entire lake.
And as you know, Sacramento has been looking at the question of transportation infrastructure funding. They've been looking at it for quite some time. They're in special session for now over a year. We haven't seen a lot of movement on it. Counties, the folks that are here today in the hallways, that's what I'm hearing. We need to focus on transportation.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're doing in El Dorado County?
Absolutely. You know, that is a solution not only for transportation but for housing.
That's right.
All of our system, it all is integral. And so absolutely we really need to be working more on the transportation and how we get more funding. The counties don't have the ability in general to be able to get the proper amount.
Has El Dorado thought about becoming a self-help county? Because as you know, if you can pass your own sales tax, you can then leverage those dollars, state and federal. In November, 14 counties looked at that, I believe. 6 passed them, 8 did not. So it's hard. You need 2/3.
Yes. Yeah, and One of our neighbor counties, Placer,
Sure.
put a sales tax out, and it would pass. And
It did not pass, right? It's tough.
So we're looking at, what can we do and have it pass? It's very difficult. We're looking at TOT.
Right, the transportation. Well, that makes, in a lot of ways, it makes a lot of sense because that's for tourism.
Although over half of our tourists that come up are only day users, so it wouldn't apply to them. The TOT taxes only applies when you stay the night.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we're looking at it, trying to figure out how do we move forward. I've had conversations with people that would like us to have toll roads back in Lake Tahoe, which we did in the 1800s.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
I didn't know that. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Okay.
So it's it wouldn't be the first time, but certainly something interesting, and we're really trying to go outside the box to figure out how do we put up.
So back to Sacramento, as you know, the Democrats had a very good year in California, nationwide not as much, and I know you're run as a nonpartisan, but the Democrats now have a supermajority in the state legislature, Assembly and Senate, which gives them power on the question of revenue. And so the Democrats have been pushing for increasing the gas tax because we haven't seen an increase in over 20 years, maybe taxing electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles. What do you make of 2017 and the possibility for more revenue?
2017, we have to address this problem. Our gas taxes have been going down. Our revenues, just in our little small county of El Dorado, are over $4 million less than they were just a few years ago. Yeah. And you can see that in our roads and in our transportation. So we have to get to our state legislators and tell them this is a critically important time right now for us to figure out and find a way to increase our taxes. It's time to take policy and put that over politics.
I want to talk about another political event that shook the state of California in November, and that was the passage of Prop 64.
Right.
In 2010, the voters were asked, do you want to legalize marijuana? They said no. In 2016, they said yes in a very big way. 57% voted in favor of legalization. One of 8 out of 9 states that said yes to some form of legalization, medical or recreational. How did it go in El Dorado? I'm not sure. Did it pass in El Dorado County?
We did. It is passed, and so we are now grappling with that.
Right.
I'm actually on the subcommittee for the medical marijuana.
Okay.
And we've been talking for 6 months about how we change those ordinances and make them more of a civil process rather than a criminal process, knowing that Prop 64 was going to come in and understanding it was probably going to pass as it did.
In El Dorado County today, are there any communities that allow for medical marijuana sales, either brick and mortar or delivery?
Yeah, we have 2 dispensaries.
You do.
And again, we had an ordinance that we are trying to change and modify so that we can make this more of a civil process. But absolutely, we all have to understand that commercialization of marijuana within our state is now legal. It's what
it is what it is.
It's the taxpayers have spoken.
Right.
So we need to figure out how to deal with that.
Now, are you looking at converting or allowing the establishment of commercial marijuana brick and mortar stores?
Yeah.
Because that is now possible, but you do have land use decisions and you do have land use authority.
Yeah, we've been studying this issue quite extensively, and it becomes a problem of safety and health for our citizens. How do we deal with that? Well, I really feel that we need to start increasing fees, talk about licensing and registration, and bring in those growers into the legalized system.
How do you make sure that when you increase taxes and fees on marijuana sales or cultivation, it doesn't get so high with the state tax that then the black market looks more attractive?
Correct, and that therein lies that balancing act that you have to provide. But it is important that we do provide that ability for our citizens to have what they say they wanted. So
her name is Sue Novasel. She is a supervisor in beautiful El Dorado County. My name is Brad Pomerance, coming to you from Palm Springs, California at the SUSAC convention. It's Charter Local Edition.